It's Beyond Game Day. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and staying with us. Today, plenty to go through. We got the Africa Cup of Nations, which starts on the 21st of December. And of course, we got that, World Cup draw that happened a couple of days ago. First, I'm joined by Wesley Gabriels, who's our in-house sports rugby fundi, to be exact. Wesley, the Rugby World Cup draw happened a couple of days ago. Dear Lord.
Yeah.
We get the All Blacks. Aye, Baba.
We'll get them in the quarterfinals. We first got to finish top of our group.
Yeah.
Then win the round of 16, and then we'll catch them in the quarters.
But I think the big question, how did we get to that line of the draw? Because one would have thought at least maybe semis is where we'd meet up.
Yeah. And that's the thing that everyone is talking about, because we're always fighting to remain number one, because then you think, I'm going to get, an easy draw, an easy group, an easy path to the final. But this time, it doesn't mean that. It means that you're going to face the All Blacks in the quarterfinals, and then also, if France do make it through, you'll face France in the semi. So it's not the easiest of routes for us here, Erasmus and them, and I'd love to hear what the coach has to say about this, because it seems like, and I'm not trying to make up anything
You must make it up.
But it feels like
is what it is.
World Rugby and the Springboks, there's something there. There's a bit of beef there.
It's been
underlying.
It's been going on for possibly the whole season. And you bring something interesting. Just a couple of days ago, in fact, 2 weeks ago, remember England beat that other team that we shall not name?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they speak about themselves, they're world beaters. And then we get this
it's always
draw.
like that.
It boggles the mind.
That. No, it does, because then you look at an England and an Ireland and their route to the final, and you're like, but then this ranking system doesn't really matter. Like, where you end.
How is it supposed to work, this ranking system?
I think you're supposed to, a team like the Springboks you're supposed to avoid teams like an Australia, for instance, or New Zealand, for instance. And like you mentioned, you're only supposed to meet that team in a semi-final or a final. But it seems like it's sort of like a thing of where they're trying to force a North versus South final, which, the South has dominated when it comes to winning the Rugby World Cup.
7 of the last 10 World Cups. Anyway.
Yeah. But you would think that even if you look at how the FIFA World Cup draw is also happening, is that teams like Argentina and Spain are on opposite ends of the draw, because those are your two top-ranked teams in the world. So you don't want them to end up in the same path when they meet up in the round of 16 or even in the quarterfinals. It's deliberate, like, maybe these two teams can play in the final. You would think that World Rugby would have the same similar system to that, but clearly not.
Yeah.
But I'm confident that we can do it, though.
I mean, you look at Pool A, it's what the All Blacks is Bledisloe final, basically. You got All Blacks and Australia. So those two should automatically go through. Then in our group, Pool B, you got us, Italy. I'm not going to count the rest. Romania and Georgia. I think maybe Italy. But could there be a shocker, though? Georgia? For Italy?
It could be. I mean, the Georgia they've been quite physical. They've got a very physical pack. But I think the way that Italian rugby has sort of like, grown over the last couple of years. I mean, we saw what happened when we played them.
I always say they beat us once. May never happen again.
No, look, there could be an upset on the cards. Where I'm hoping would be an upset is in between Ireland and Scotland.
Those would be the better groups. In fact, those would be the interesting groups, because then the Argentinian group as well.
Yes.
So the permutations actually might work for us, but it's inevitable.
It could.
It's inevitable. There is going to be a South Africa, possibly New Zealand or Australia quarter.
Or Australia. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Wallabies, you don't know what team is going to pitch on the day. They beat us here in Johannesburg. And then you look at the other test matches that they've played, and they were like, it's like very, very big difference. And also the way they performed against the British and Irish Lions as well. So they can maybe do us a favor. We saw what happened with us in the last World Cup, playing against Ireland, losing against them. Well, the All Blacks have the same tactic to avoid playing against the Boks in the quarters. But it's interesting. It's just very weird to me that the number one ranked team, there's not a fair path for them, an easier path for them to reach the final, because I mean, we all want that three-peat.
In fact, I was speaking to former Bok fly half 1995 champion Joel Stransky, and he said the very same thing, saying, look, it's so unfortunate because you like to see the best teams in the world, play each other at that level, whether it's a final or not. And the one thing that surprised me, what he said, is he thinks that South Africa should have the beating of the All Blacks, but that's judging on current
form. Yeah.
2027 is a long year and a half away.
Very long. And the thing is also, like the All Blacks in knockout rugby is a team you wanna try and avoid. Okay, we know what happened in the 2023 final where we beat them by a point, but you look at the game against Ireland. And you were like, oh, the Irish should have the better of the All Blacks, but they didn't, because the All Blacks just have that temperament where they can just knock you out on the day.
Yeah, and I think of the English as well. If the English survive the Irish, because they could have a semi-final themselves.
Yeah.
Depending, hopefully the RGs beat one of them.
Yeah.
I actually get the feeling that Ireland could actually beat the English to the final.
Do you think so?
It just feels like it.
The Irish fans are going to love you, eh?
Look, I mean, I don't like the Irish much. You know how in your head they are with us.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I think England is being built too much. Again, personally, they think they've been overbuilt. And Ireland have been consistent. They've had the time to build, almost like the Springboks.
Yeah.
It's just theirs started later than ours. I mean, if you think back 2015. I think the Irish have a lot to gain the next year and a half, though. And I think the Rugby Championship will actually speak to that. Who could be the front runners?
I think they've got to get rid of that. There's a bit of voodoo that's being attached to the Irish at the moment.
Yeah.
When it comes to the knockout phase of.
But that's why I think they'll make a semi.
Of a Rugby World Cup. Like, can they get rid of it?
Yeah. Quickly before you go, Ibn Esabeth, that red card decision still not out. We expect it on Sunday, but the reality is, let's be honest.
Yeah.
There was no two ways about it. He deserved.
It was idiotic, to say the least.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary, and a veteran, you don't expect that from a veteran. Like, you would maybe expect that from a young Ibn.
141 caps. How do you stick a finger in somebody's eye?
Look, I think it was provoked. We don't know what happened. There's been a lot of footage going around as well that, the Welsh player poked him first in the eye.
So you stole my lunch at break. Now I must steal your pencil in the class.
You can be very petty on a rugby field, eh? You can be very petty on a rugby field. No, I think we can expect a lengthy ban for him.
I think that's why it's probably being postponed. Because when you think of it, it was supposed to be announced on Wednesday. Yeah. It hasn't come through yet. They say it'll bring on Sunday. I think the only thing they probably stuck to now is how lengthy the ban is.
Yeah.
How much is the longest ban?
I think it could be up to a year, possibly
52 weeks or so,
something like that.
I think
I'm speaking.
I think Eben booked a Disney World trip.
When I saw it happen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, this guy wants some time off.
He booked a Disney World trip. He wants to be off for the whole year, coming for the World Cup.
Yeah, but look, it was a really silly thing to do, because if you see how we were playing on the day as well, and the result and all of that. So yeah, Ibn, not happy, eh? Not happy.
No South Africans happy with that one, but obviously it's the World Cup draw. Looking forward to 2027. Hopefully we get a three-peat. What, 5 on the?
It'll be 5.
It'll be 5. No one can catch us.
No one can catch us.
And obviously the other big talking point later this year, the Africa Cup of Nations, but it starts off for South Africa-wise anyway. For me, Orlando Pirates this weekend, Culling Cup final, because the bulk of the squad going to AFCON is playing for Pirates this weekend.
In that Pirates team, yeah. And it's an interesting final against Maruma Gallants.
We know the winner, eh?
Please don't be that person. Please.
I was just looking at my time.
Oh, it's because you were a supporter of that team.
I was looking at my time, but anyway,
Yeah, chief. This is why I always say this. I love the Culling knockout because of the past 2 tournaments where we saw Stellenbosch FC win the inaugural one, and
they're having a horrible time in the Premier League.
I'm from there. Let's not start.
That's what happens. You shouldn't win things that you must concentrate.
Are we focusing on Confed Cup, Chief?
How's it going?
Well, we're top of our group.
Let's come back to Culling Cup. Let's finish Culling
Cup. Look, I say I love this tournament because there's always a fairy tale story.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's the trend when it comes to the Culling knockout. So I wouldn't be surprised if Maruma on the day come away with the win. I 1-0.
Look, I'm not sure about Maruma Gallants beating Pirates. Let's be fair. Pirates are on possibly a good streak right now. One, I think being top of the log standings.
Yes.
I think for the longest time, Sundowns. This is probably the longest time Sundowns has not been on top,
which is very surprising.
Which is actually quite good though for local.
It's good for South African football that this is happening. Yeah.
So that's why I think Pirates, because they're riding that wave right now, it's going to be tough for them to actually relinquish it, because it could spell maybe spell a slump in the PSL run. So they'll go into this match guns blazing. No,
they will definitely. And look, there's a lot of Pirates fans that I know out there, and they the confidence is high and the belief is high, but then you also look at the way that the team is playing. You're scoring goals.
Ball.
You're solid at the back as well. There's a couple of youngsters who are also sticking up their hand. Bokazi.
But he's leaving to
Chicago Fire. Is this going to be his last game? Is he playing?
It could possibly be his last game. But not in South Africa. Remember, he's still going to go to AFCON.
He's still going to go to AFCON, but for Pirates, it's going to be his last
game, yeah.
And there's another motivation as to why you could win this cup.
We will win this cup. Yeah, you were saying?
Could win this cup. No, look, I wouldn't be surprised if you walk away with it.
Yeah.
Because this will also be added motivation as to what is going on in the league. To try and push to get to, reach that the promised land of winning the Betway Premiership.
And it's been a while since Pirates won that league.
Very long.
I think my kids were not even born yet. All of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Really?
I got young kids.
That's not the point. No, look, this is why I say I think it would be brilliant for South African football if they do come out on top, because I think everyone is tired of Sundowns winning it. Yes, we know you've got all the talent out there in the team.
But you can't blame them, though.
No, you can't.
They've invested a lot in their football, so let's give them the props. Because I think over the years with Chiefs dominating Pirates in a way, you had years where, okay, maybe not past decade because Sundowns have been cleaning up. But in terms of cup competition, it's always a conversation of, do you want a strong Kaizer Chiefs for the sake of football? Without a doubt, you want them. A strong Kaizer Chiefs, that is, because it brings the color back into football. Even if they're not winning cups, if they're doing well, pushing for those finals and cups, it augurs well for them, for soccer in general.
What is that saying? If Chiefs is doing well, Bafana does well.
Which Chiefs players in Bafana?
I'm asking you. What's the saying?
There's no Chiefs in Bafana.
Not a saying.
Not a single one. In fact, they'll be saying goodbye to Hugo Bruce when the guys leave on the 18th. Speaking about it, on the 18th. So the team leaves. They're going to Morocco. That is going to be a tough one for Hugo. A newish squad. I think he dropped about 11 players from the previous AFCON. His favorite, Temba's one. Remember, throughout the year, he's been saying, I'm going to wait for Temba. He's not in the squad. Yeah, your thoughts?
Look, I think there's a lot of other talent that Bafana can rely on at the moment. I think there's also there's enough of a core group from that last AFCON for this Bafana team to try and push to go all the way, which I believe we will do. But it's also nice to see that there's a couple of youngsters in there as well, like Tylen Smith, who recently joined QPR as well. So it's nice to see that there's an eye towards the future as well. Because I remember this, I think it was a couple of weeks ago where Bruce is actually talking that, hey, like when the World Cup is done, then I'm done.
Yeah. This is last dance.
This is his last dance.
In fact, the last time he played, if I'm correct, the last time Bruce was playing, he was actually in Mexico. That was his last international football game. So this will really be his last dance. So this will
be his official last dance. We hope that it can end on a high note as well. Look, it's gonna be a tough AFCON. I think Morocco are definitely going to be one of the favorites, but I think that South Africa's definitely gonna have to put themselves in that conversation as well in terms of winning AFCON. Because I do think we've got the talent, we've got the know-how. There's enough senior players to carry us through. Runway's going to be crucial once again.
Runway being crucial. I know we're running out of time, but I got to ask this: are we dragging him too long now? Are we dragging him too long?
Who are you going to put in his place?
Iker Casillas started playing for Spain. He was 16 years old, and you got Tylen Smith. Some of these kids were playing under 20s. What do you think?
Look, if his performances are not up to standard anymore, the conversation needs to be had.
Goss is there, so
Goss is there. Chain is there. And I think Chain is I really like him as a goalkeeper. I like his personality as well. If performances start dwindling, then a conversation needs to be had. Yes, I know that you captain and everything. But that doesn't mean that you need to stay in the team.
Okay, give me a scoreline this weekend, Cullen Cup final. That's why we started.
I don't want to upset you.
Give it to me.
I'm going to go 2-1 Pirates.
2-1 Pirates it is, definitely.
Peer pressure, that's what I gave him.
And Formula One, we're joined by all things motorsports. Fundi Lufefe Mayegis. What? Right in Plegat?
Akondo.
I'm still worried and concerned. How do you wear that cap? After the season you've had, that cap you're still wearing. It's been horrendous for the Ferraris.
In sickness and in health.
But here's for me.
For better or for worse?
It's been the worst. In fact, my season is going to get probably even beyond, is there a word? Beyond Westes. Westes. This weekend is the end of the season. I mean, man, we spoke a couple of days ago. Max came back. He was out of it.
Did he really?
Look, you did tell me that he's not too out of it. I think, but I mean, 4 races ago, one would have never thought you'd have made it back, especially the way those papayas were working.
By his own admission, he's only back in the picture because of other people's failures.
Yeah.
This is the truth. From where I'm standing, it seems as though McLaren want Lando Norris to be their driver's champ. And they're doing everything in their power to ensure that that is the outcome of the championship. They prepared to risk it for both their drivers to get that result. It even seems like they prepared for Max to win rather than Oscar, to me.
Lofefe Maigi, so Motazar person, Motazar founder, all things motorsport South Africa. That's probably the good place to start this conversation on Beyond Game Day. F1 season culminates this weekend. It has been the most finicky and most probably up and down season. You mentioned Max, you mentioned those papayas. I think you and I were both disappointed. I say both disappointed, and I said to you the other week, anything but Max Verstappen for me. And you said to me, don't rule him out. And here we are. I think there's less than 20 points separating all the top 3 drivers. It's anyone's race.
Yes, so Lando's leading the championship by 12 points to Max and by 19 points to Piastri, as things stand. So here we are. Max said you can call him Chucky from Child's Play because he's that character in a horror movie that just won't go away. And that's what Zach Brown said to describe him. So he says, he can call me Chucky.
Where did it all go wrong? I say where it all went wrong for the McLarens, because they're running away with it. I mean, you and I still feel a bit sore. I would like a lot of things to happen, and I'd like Lando to wrap it up last weekend. And going to this weekend, it just feels it's a bit too close.
Let's go back to Azerbaijan. Qualifying. Turn 4, Oscar puts it on the wall. He's never done that in his F1 career before. The following day, turn 4, he starts 7th as a result. Puts it on the wall.
Are you trying to say something?
I'm not trying to say something. I'm just saying the math is not mathing. The truth of the matter is Piastri has been near flawless since the beginning of his F1 career in 2023. He finished 44 races in a row, which is a record, only behind Lewis Hamilton, who finished 47 races in a row. And then he's followed by Max Verstappen. So that kind of consistency, where did it go in the last 5 races before Qatar? Because he never had a top 3 start.
No, but I want you to be clear.
Finish
I want you to
in
be
any
clear.
of those races.
I want you to be clear. Are you saying the papayas are actually giving this race to Lando, or this championship to Lando?
It's giving, bruv. This is sus. It makes no sense. People are trying to tell me, no, you can have a slump, you can lose form. Nah, sway. There's even the race, was it Mexico or America? Where he had a collision on turn 1 in the opening lap with Antonelli, who then hit Charles Leclerc, who DNF from the race.
Yeah.
Listen to Martin Brundle, Crofty, and the commentators. I want you to listen to other races where there's been incidents on the opening lap. No, they'll just let that go. They're usually lenient on the opening lap. These things happen, but then they say, Oscar definitely must get a 10-second penalty.
10-second penalty, that's what he got. But that accident with Antonelli.
Yes.
2 Brit drivers. A lot of, I'd say, touches with Lewis. Is it this thing about taking the championship away from Max?
No. Max is also a FIA favorite. Here's the ideal situation. Lando, a British driver, winning for McLaren, a British team.
Yeah, British-based team.
The irony of that is Bruce McLaren is actually a Kiwi.
I just want to say.
So, yes, it's British. We'll take it. And that's basically what they've been culminating until now. But Oscar came as a unpleasant, unexpected surprise.
Yeah.
And he's been better than Lando, I would say, from last season, second half. So Oscar mustn't win. That's what I see now. Because there's absolutely no world where he can be arguably the best driver for the first 18 races. And there was the race he couldn't even pass Lewis Hamilton in 5th. Oh, my days. Nah. I don't buy it. Whatever it is that they're selling, personally, it's not going down. There is no world. And then I was having a debate in one of my WhatsApp groups. People calling me conspiracy theorist.
I was nearly going to say that, but I mean,
that's fine.
You and your knowledge in F1 is second to none. So
no, this is not even about my knowledge in F1. It's just seeing things for what they are. And then I wrote a message. It was on the 12th of November. Now that Lando has a comfortable lead, Oscar's car's going to start performing again. What happens? He's fastest in free practice 1. He's fastest in
as well.
Sprint qualifying. Yeah. He wins the sprint. He puts it on pole. He starts the race. He's moving. Then cheeky. I mean, you tell me.
Yeah.
In a race where there's a mandatory 2-stop, you can't do more than 25 laps. In lap 7, why would you not pit the cars?
That was
in a safety car period.
That was possibly the biggest mind blower from the last from Qatar.
I've got an answer.
Everyone pits in lane 7, or 7th lap. You knew very well that those tires not going to last for more than 25. They tried an undercut, then it was an overcut, and then all these cuts just end up cutting themselves.
And all the other 18 cars pitted.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
And the tire choice as well, with a lot of questions.
Yes, of course. But by then, I'd lost interest. For me, lap 7, mandatory 2 stops, but they closed together.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to double stack and delay Lando. And they couldn't exactly say, Oscar, pass and pit Lando.
But then they were still in traffic when they did pit, and exactly that double stacking happened anyway.
Exactly. But by then, the car's going full speed.
Yeah.
Because in a safety car period, you save about 15 seconds of the time that you would have consumed versus the ordinary time for a pit stop.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 seconds, plus minus.
It's probably the worst track that this championship will be decided, because the history, especially with that hat you have on, the history of that track. There's a driver we both love that is going to go to the track. He's nowhere close to finishing, but this track is supposed to be, as I said, Abu Dhabi. Oh, the history behind it, and being a crazy F1 season, it's going to happen again, basically, whether you like it or not.
The decider in the desert.
Yeah.
That's what they're calling it. Look, in championship deciders, even if you were the fastest and all of that, it comes down to this. We know Max has got
mental aptitude,
mental fortitude. Oscar, even through the slum, if you looked at his interviews, he was consistent with his energy. Didn't get angry. He wasn't sad. He wasn't downbeat.
Even when he was told to give Norris the way.
Exactly.
Always kept his mind.
And he's always played the team game. But this Sunday, he needs to be ruthless. I can see many moving pieces.
Yeah.
Collisions, safety cars, safety car periods.
Yeah.
As long as McLaren don't make the wrong calls again, I think he's got a chance. But obviously, Lando is the favorite with the championship lead. I mean, and it's not comfortable, but it's good enough.
Basically, in short, whoever wins this weekend wins the championship, regardless, for those top 3.
No, I mean, look, if Oscar wins and Lando's in 3rd, Lando still wins.
Yeah.
Max, he needs Lando to finish, I think, 4th if he wins the race. So Lando is in the catbird seat going into this. But fun fact, the last 5 times.
This is going to be the kicker.
3 contenders went to the season finale race.
Yeah.
In contention for the championship.
You're going to say the name that I think you're going to say end up winning, and I'm going to hate that.
Okay, let's start from number 1, 1981.
Yeah.
Carlos Reutemann. He was leading the championship going to the last race. Nelson Piquet won it. 1983. Alain Prost was leading the championship.
And that guy.
Going into the last race. PK won it again. 86. Nigel Mansell was leading going into the season finale. Had a tire burst, like 2 laps left. Prost won his second title.
Couldn't do a Lewis finish with 3 tires.
No, not at that stage. 1986, the technology wasn't that good and he wasn't that far ahead. Then 2010, Alonso was leading the championship.
Remember that.
And Vettel won it. In fact, Vettel, that's the first time he led the championship that entire season.
When he won it.
After the final race.
Yeah. In short,
Lando, history does not favor him.
In fact, you're telling me that Max is going to win it. In short, you just want to say...
Oscar. Guys, don't write Oscar out.
You think so?
Oscar is the deserved winner. 7 race wins.
Yeah.
Most poles. Most podiums this season. He's the deserved winner. All things equal. And now, the racing gods are going to intervene. Me, I have a feeling that against all odds, Oscar can do it.
Well, hold you up against it, that one.
Fair,
You have to check you on. Also, last weekend, Kailami, that kid, Piri, Orlatili, SB 600, 17-year-old, he's beating all boys.
The biker?
Yes.
Oh, yes. But I was in Cape Town for the Heineken World Tour, so I didn't go to 9 Hour this year. But I did hear about his excellent ride, yes. And obviously into Africa, clinching their back-to-back championship. SAES.
Lufefe, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And Beyond Game Day, it's always a pleasure having you.